because it's the finale, did they give you guys more money to do the finale? Is there a bigger budget or no? How does this work?
Usually no. But in a way, yes. Because
Okay.
back then we would do the storyboards on paper and we would pin them up in a conference room. And if the boards were a little long, they would bring in some kind of push pin boards, you know, and like we
extension boards.
Yeah, we had these
boards.
extension boards like wrapping around like a labyrinth. And Eric Coleman was just like, guys, this is not
Ridiculous.
this is not one episode. And we were still fooling ourselves. No, we can fit it in. We can fit it in. And he's like, this is not one episode. And so somehow the 60 episode order turned into 61. We never heard how. We never. So in a way, we got more money. Yeah. It wasn't more money for one episode. It was like a sell my,
There you go.
It just split into two.
Next thing you know.
I think Jeremy did get a bit of a budget increase to actually record live players for the score,
music,
for which he was doing, we've been doing this process where he's been plussing the original score. We released book 1, Water, with actual live players, replacing all the MIDI library stuff. But in these last 4 episodes, it's actually strings. Live strings. Ooh. So we already...
You can feel it.
He already got to do that.
It was cinematic. It was cinematic.
Yeah.
Watching it in a new era in time, right? Like last night, I was moved in a different way. I mean... The Zuko Azula fight.
Oh,
well, he was doing
music. It was like a somber sadness to the music when they were fighting, and I was like sad about it. You know?
Yeah. He did all sorts. He really took advantage of having the live players and being Jeremy. He was doing like microtonal,
I'm sure,
note clusters, tonal clusters, and all sorts of. Coming up with his own types of notation for extended techniques.
Jeremy, what are you doing, Jeremy? Mad scientist. Mad scientist.
We love our Jeremy Zuckerman. Okay, let's get into it.
All right. So I'm sure everybody remembers where we were when we left off in part 2, The Old Masters. We had a reunion for Iroh and Zuko, and we found out Azula would be crowned Fire Lord, which whatever. And then we know Ozai's getting ready to take over the world, and Aang has just ended his experience with the lion turtle.
Sozin's Comet Into the Inferno was written by Mike and Brian and directed by Joaquin Dos Santos.
All right, we open this episode with a very red skies, very Blade Runner skies, boy.
Very red, very moody skies.
Amazing. And we close view on Sozin's Comet and then quickly find out that we're joining Katara and Zuko, who are riding Appa to find and defeat Azula. But Zuko is more preoccupied with whether Aang is going to be able to handle Ozai. Katara reassures him that Aang will triumph because he has to.
Yeah.
This takes us to checking in with Sokka, Toph, and Suki, who approach the airship fleet by sea on an eel hound. When they arrive, they're too late to stop the airships from taking off, so Toph uses an earthbending propel way to get him in the air, and then they get onto one of the airships and they sneak aboard, and then the scene ends with a very intimidating shot of Ozai smirking evilly on that airship.
He's very good at that.
Such a great shot to end it with. Hair was flowing.
Sokka has just realized they're not going to catch up fast enough as Ozai begins to scorch the earth below, sending animals to flee for their lives. And watching all of this is Aang, who sends Momo to safety as he begins to earthbend huge discs of stone at the airships, and then follows up with some pretty powerful firebending of his own, because he too
Sozin's
has a
Comet, y'all.
firebender.
Yeah, he's also, exact kept my mind in the same time. I was like, he's too is a firebender.
Impressive.
It's nice to see Ozai experience a moment of surprise and dismay when he realizes what's happening. As his airship crashes, Ozai firebends himself towards Aang for their confrontation.
After generations of Fire Lords failed to find you, now the universe delivers you to me as an act of providence.
Please listen to me. We don't have to fight. You have the power to end it here and stop what you're doing.
You are right. I do have the power. I have all the power in the world!
Sokka, Toph, and Suki watch. Aang begins to battle with Ozai. They have to come up with a plan to stop the airship fleet, apparently involving an airship slice.
We don't know what this is yet.
Right. They suddenly change course of their ship, doubling back as the rest of the fleet begins to burn everything in its path. And now their ship is coming like 90 degrees, cutting through each of the ship as it passes.
Yeah.
It's a really great move, as long as Sokka, Toph, and Suki don't get killed in the process. cut away as Azula's coronation ceremony begins. But before she could be crowned, Zuko arrives with Katara and Appa to save the day. Sorry, but you're not going to become Fire Lord today. I am.
You're hilarious. And you're going down.
Now it's brother against sister in what is guaranteed to be an epic agony god, just like we saw in Embryon Players. Which Zuko died in that one.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I know,
if you want to
like,
refer back to that, it doesn't end well.
That was not a great.
For him.
That's propaganda.
So that's why, Dante, we have to make our own destinies.
Yes.
Right? Not just follow some story we're all being fed.
Yes.
Come on, you know this. Speaking of next level, Aang and Ozai are also in a crazy battle, one that is moving across these towers of stone, pushing Aang to his limit as he uses every tool in his arsenal, from air to earth to water to fire. And Ozai has that dang blue lightning that literally changes the color of the landscape as he goes full throttle on his attack on Aang. I keep feeling I'm going to hit you in the face. I have to stop gesticulating so wildly. I get way too into
I'm
this.
into it too.
It's horrible.
This is the finale.
It's horrible.
Get into it.
It's horrible. And he hits him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Aang backs into. So he's pushing Aang back into a rock. There's a sort of protrusion in the rock, and it hits Aang right where the lightning went in, where Azula's lightning hit him.
That was a fascinating moment. How did you guys talk to me about that? Because I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I remember talking with Aaron and the writers about hitting that point, and I felt like we had to do this little nub sticking out of the rock, and I guess we should have just had a corner or a fire hydrant. I don't know.
It had to be clear that that's what was happening, because otherwise you would just think he's gotten electrocuted by Ozai. That's it. I guess it's over.
But it was cool and connected because it was something that he had. He has a scar. And it's you never really talk about. We see the scars. He walks around other times, and then it kind of comes back.
Yeah, we had talked about he's got a lot of blocked energy in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For going into this final battle, he had to somehow kind of unlock all that.
Yes.
That chi inside him.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's kind of what we're seeing, right? We're seeing it unblock.
Yeah, I think there's always that idea of pain and trauma, traumatic experiences being, with body work.
Yes.
You can kind of get a really deep massage, but find I have this knot. I just call it my avatar monster when we were animating the test pilot. Not even the test pilot. We just did this little test animation sequence to help the green light or something. And I was I was really stressed out and I was holding my arm in a weird way. And I got this knot. I felt it form in my left scapula area. And I've had it ever since.
Still?
So it's or you can have a really traumatic experience, and if someone works on it, it brings you back to that, and you might start crying, it was that idea of just this sort of unlocking that, like Mike said, the kind of bottled up chakra, flow. It but through a very painful.
It worked.
Way of kickstarting it.
Bend your ear for ad-free episodes with Avatar Braving the Elements Premium.
Subscribe today on Apple Podcasts.